A snare can instantly change the personality of a kit. When you're buying a snare, you want to think about something that's going to be able to fit a lot of different musical situations. These are my working snares, and I put these in a bag and take these with me to all of my sessions that I do. And it's got compartments that you can change the size of. So I put 5 of these snares in that bag. I'm super excited to be giving away this beautiful aluminum Gretsch snare drum. And if you win this drum, we'll even sign it right here on the head if you desire. And I've been having some great response from the giveaways. It's been great interacting with the winners. So just click the link to join, and I hope that you win. And thanks for your participation. See you down the line. And what I've got here is the Gretsch Swamp Dog, which is a great 8-inch snare. I've got it tuned super low and muffled for that nice Al Jackson thwack. And then I've got a 6.5 by 14 Ludwig Superphonic, which is the bottom snare. I've got a 5 by 14 Ludwig Superphonic from the 60s. And this is the type of drum that was played on a lot of the James Brown recordings, some of the Meters recordings, and a lot of classic funk and soul recordings. This is a solid ply maple version of my Spirit of New Orleans snare, and Ron Dinette made this for me. This is my Stanton Moore Drum Company, and this is a solid ply of maple, 4.5 by 14. This drum right here is a 4 by 14 Gretsch with a maple veneer, and this drum, I don't think they made any more than this one, but this drum they let me take home from the NAMM show, and I wound up playing this drum on Take It to the Street. And this is before I got into 4.5s. And then this is a cool little 3 by 13 piccolo, and I crank this super high, and I take it with me to all my sessions so that I can get a nice high-pitched crack when I need it. So, like I said, I put 5 of these drums into a bag and bring those with me, and I take it to the sessions and I have it sit behind the throne, and whatever snare I'm feeling, whether it's a nice low-pitched thwack or a nice high-pitched crack, I've got it with me at the session, and I'll throw it up for whatever is needed. So here are some of my snares, and I'm going to talk you through some of my favorites. This is a Slingerland Radio King 6.5 by 14 solid ply, and I got this drum in the 90s, and this drum is one of the drums that I used on Take It to the Street. So over here, this is a 59 Gretsch drum that I got when I bought a Ludwig kit. It happened to just come with the kit way back in the early 90s. And I went and found this kit, found it through the classifieds, and I went and picked it up with my dad, and it happened to come with this drum. So this is the first Gretsch drum that I ever owned, and I came into it kind of, I wouldn't say by accident, but I was going to buy a 60s Ludwig kit, and the guy threw this drum in it. And I was like, man, this is killer. And so I'd started my love affair with Gretsch drums. And so down here, I've got a few of my Stanton Moore wood drums that Ron Dinette made for me. So these are some beautiful drums. This is a solid ply of Bird's Eye. This is an acacia. Here's another solid ply of Bird's Eye. They're all slightly different and beautiful. Each one of them is beautiful in its own way. Up here are some Ron Dinette drums, and this is one of his 6.5 by 14 titaniums. This is one of his flagship drums. And when I first met him, he had been making titanium. He said, I want to make a drum for you. I said, that's awesome. I said, have you made a 4x14? And he said, well, I haven't yet. He wasn't sure if you could cut a shell down to 4 and still have it maintain its integrity. But he was willing to try it, so he did. And this is my first 4x14, made by Ron Dennett. Then he made this polished 4x14. And then I said, you know, could we perhaps try a 4.5x14? Because Johnny Craviotto had made me that 4.5x14 that I love so much. So in front of me right here is this 4.5x14 solid maple shell, steam bent by Johnny Craviotto, and this is a drum that he made for me. And you can see that it's got the Craviotto badge, and it's got Craviotto engraved into the hoop. But over here, we've got a plate that Johnny put on here for me, and I get emotional just thinking about it because Johnny was such a beautiful cat. He was like, man, let me make you a snare drum. And I never expected that he was gonna put this badge on it that says custom made for Stanton Moore by Johnny Craviotto. And then this is a nice little 3x13 that Ron made for me for a nice little firecracker kind of snare. Over here is my first snare drum that I owned, and this is a Ludwig Acrolite that my parents bought for me from Mitchell's Music on Veterans Highway when I was in grammar school at St. Catherine of Siena School in Old Metairie. And cut over to now, this is one of my first Gretsch signature snares. And this is solid ply bird's eye maple. So I think it's kind of cool. I've got my first snare over here, and then my first Gretsch signature over here. And these turned out to be some of the prototypes to my Spirit of New Orleans titanium Stanton Moore Drum Company, which Ron Dennett has made for me. And so these are some of my favorites, and lots of other great drums on the shelf. Here's that Gretsch Bell Brass. Here's a Rogers Dynasonic that I bought from Revival Drum. So lots of fun stuff, and I love to throw out different things at different times, but these are all part of my collection here in the studio. So thank you for checking out this tour of some of my favorite snare drums. If you dug this video, please like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I am putting out some more behind the scenes videos. See y'all down the line.